Oh yeah, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another installment of Teamheel Podcast Extra here on the YouTube channel. This is our second installment of the Wrestlemania Retro Review. As you guys know, as we're heading into Wrestlemania, we'll be covering WrestleManias from yesteryear. And last week, we tortured ourselves by watching WrestleMania 11, talking about it, and here we are again. But as always, guys, thank you all for listening, tuning into the channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, give the video a big old thumbs up, share it through social media, and above all else, follow us on Twitter at Teamheel Podcast, and I'm me on Twitter at HeelSteven. And as always, guys, I am not alone. As always, me, it's Steve, the fat fuck himself, but I'm joined here by the usual crew here. I'm here with the panty dropper all the way from Bridgeport, Connecticut. He's down in the dump because Odell Beckham is now officially a Cleveland Brown. The one, the only, the Queen Slayer. That's KWWEN. Walter. At Hey, I'm Walter on Twitter. Walter, how the fuck you been, bro? I know you're sad right now, but still. What's up, man?
Yeah, no, besides that nonsense, don't really want to get into that. I've been pretty good, Friday's coming up. And
payday, brother. Payday.
I get paid Thursdays, but yeah. I like that the weather's getting warm now, so it's all good.
Hopefully it's warmer for WrestleMania weekend,
I don't think
dude.
There's no more snow. I think snow is completely done.
Hopefully, bro, it'll be short weather for WrestleMania weekend. But let's hope so.
I doubt it, but
I'll be in shorts. I don't give a shit. I'll be in shorts.
Yeah, you can get sick, not me.
Anyway, and we're here joined by the homie himself, the man with the golden charm, all the way in Detroit, Big Mike from Big Mike's Wrestling Recap Show. Mike, what's up, brother?
I'm doing all right, guys. I can't wait to talk about this. I've been been waiting all week. About this.
So, I feel like because you cannot wait, and as you guys know, last week we talked about WrestleMania 11, and again, it was torture, it was funny as all hell, and all that shit. So, this week we're going up a couple years later, right? And I feel like, Mike, because you want to talk about this so badly, I feel like it should be you to tell everyone which WrestleMania are we going to be talking about this week here on Teamheel Podcast Extra.
WrestleMania 23.
That's right, WrestleMania 23, live from Ford's Field in Detroit, Michigan. The show took place on April the 1st, 2007. Attendance was 80,103. The live gate for the show is 5,380,000 in the live gate, which is a big number. And Mike, for my understanding, you were actually at the event in 2007. How old were you, and what was your thought process going into the show?
I believe I was 11 turning on 12, and my whole thought process was like, oh man, I'm going to WrestleMania, I'm here, and just all the epic stuff that happened that I thought at the time, boy, was that women's match epic. But
oh boy. No, man, no. The Kane versus Great Khali match, that was epic, bro.
Oh man, that was very epic. But no, at the time, even that match, I knew that was really not good. I told my dad, I was like, this wasn't a good match. After that match was taking place after, but it was a great atmosphere. A lot of rowdy fans, a lot of chants. A lot of legends, a lot of great moments that we've seen, and it was just great. The whole experience was great, and I wish we get another one.
Man, bro, listen, bro. Don't again, bro. Keep dreaming, bro, because they love going to Florida. You know that already. They love going to
Florida, New Orleans, and New York.
I don't know about New York, bro, but anyway, Walter. What was your overall take of the show for you? I mean, again, it's been so many years that I assume you as well, because myself included, it's been so many years that I've watched the show, right? And for me, it just brought back my early, I guess, like high school run. I was a sophomore when this show took place. And what about you, Walter?
Oh yeah, I was still like guess middle school. Yeah, 07. That's middle school for me.
You were a baby Walter. Oh, okay. You were a baby Carifreco.
I
All
wouldn't
right.
say baby, but
Yeah.
close. I was in 7th grade, I think. I don't know. I know I was in middle school, but
Okay.
this is when I still enjoyed. I think completely stopped caring about wrestling. Like, not caring, but there was a time where I stopped watching. It was like around 2010ish.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
so we weren't that far off.
Yeah.
But in 07, I was still intrigued. So I remember watching it live, but I had to rewatch it because watching
Yeah,
it live,
exactly.
I kind of forgot most of the things. Not most of it, but some of the little things.
Yeah.
So watching it on the network, it's like, all right, it brought back a little bit more of what I watched live.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and I watched the show today. Funny little fact. I watched WrestleMania 11 and I watched WrestleMania 23 the day that we had to do the recording for the show. Okay, fun little fact. I think we all have. Again, there's been so much shit going on that I'm gonna say this right now. I think out of all the WrestleMania sets that I've seen, I think 23 was my favorite. As far as a WrestleMania set,
oh really?
Like the stage, yeah, I don't know what it is. Something about the blue, it being in Ford Field, and again, I'm not a football fan. I'm not. There's something about the atmosphere I just enjoyed, in my honest opinion. That's just me. Again, just take it for what it is. I know also, Mike, you were there, and I know also our good friend James from We Are Pro Wrestling. Guys, check out his channel. He's doing a lot of From the Vault stuff as well on his channel as well. So go show him some love. He was also there as well. So that being said, again, I enjoyed the set. I thought the show overall was completely better, hands down, above and beyond from WrestleMania 11. Okay, I think we can all agree on that. Now, I ask all of you guys, I want to hear your guys' input in the watch people that are watching this right now or listening to this right now, because you can't see us obviously, right? What is your input on the show? If you enjoyed it, what was your memorable match and all that fun stuff? Let us know in the comment threads, or if not, let us know on Twitter at Teamheel Podcast and all that fun stuff. Now, what I found interesting about this WrestleMania. This was, I guess, the beginning, because granted, they were in stadiums before WrestleMania 23, right? Like 21. My bad, my bad. This was like the first stadium WrestleMania since WrestleMania 19.
19, yeah.
WrestleMania 20 was an MSG, 21 was the Staples, 22 was at the Allstate Arena, right? And now here they are, WrestleMania 23 in a stadium again. So after the WrestleMania, it was decided that they're going to do stadium going forward. I thought overall that was a good decision because again, to me, WrestleMania is the biggest show of the year. You got to put it in a stadium. It's like the World Cup, right? It's basically the wrestling's World Cup, basically. So going forward after this, they went to stadiums. It was the slogan of the show is all grown up. Again, this was I want to say the 20th year anniversary. Was it the 20th year anniversary since WrestleMania 3? It was, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 3 was in Pontiac, Michigan, the Silver Dome, which is no longer in existence, but it was, again, the 20th year anniversary of that. It's also the first time that featured ECW. Again, at the time, they had 3 brands, unfortunately. Raw, SmackDown, and ECW, the new breed and shit like that. Oh my god!
Wasn't this the only one too?
Well, technically, 2000 ECW was still around.
Yeah, but it wasn't heavily featured. 24. I don't remember a ECW match.
Yeah, 24.
Chavo and Kane.
Chavo and Kane had an ECW title match.
Chavo and Kane, like 8 seconds. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's why. All right.
That's when he died, right? No, ECW is still around for. This is when I kind of stopped watching wrestling, so I wouldn't know. I think ECW died when, like around 2010, right? 09?
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah, 09 to 2010. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, this is WWE's ECW. I don't want to say in the comment threads. Oh, you talking about guys? Just to be clear, you mother flowers. It also featured 2 great championship matches between Batista, Undertaker, and Cena Shawn Michaels for WrestleMania 23, obviously. Think about this, right? WrestleMania 11, we had Michaels in the championship match. If you fast forward now years later, we have Shawn Michaels again in the championship match. You had the Battle of the Billionaires between Vince McMahon and our esteemed president of the United States of America, Donald Trump. God damn it. God damn, yeah. There's that. And of course, the show kicked off with rendition of "America the Beautiful" by Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, which I thought honestly was a very, very good rendition. I thought it made sense to bring her back after all those years. I thought it was great. I thought it was great to see her back and that fun stuff. Anyway, let's get on to the card, shall we? Because I'm looking at this card right now. Looking at this card, and where's the card? Here we go. We had, if you want to count a pre-show match that took place early on in the show, you had 9 matches on the show. 9 matches. And keep this in mind, there was a kickoff match that kicked off WrestleMania. Granted, yeah, back then there was kickoff matches too, believe it or not, on the pre-show. And it was Carlito and Ric Flair versus Chavo Guerrero and Gregory Helms in a lumberjack match. I guess it was a tag team lumberjack match. For the fuck of it, Carlito and Ric Flair picked up the W. Good on them. At the time, Ric Flair literally I guess he decided to mentor Carlito, which then led to them feuding. So there was that. Believe it or not. So yeah, believe it or not, bro. One time, Ric Flair was the mentor for Carlito Caribbean Cool, bro.
The fact that Ric Flair was on the pre-show Mania, that's like, what?
A slap in the... I know, it's a slap in the face.
And then the year after, he gets a featured match. It's like, what?
Well, yeah, but if you really think about it, this is the beginning and the end of Ric Flair.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Kind of was.
Like, this was the jump starter. It wasn't like the meat and potatoes of it. This is the starter.
Nah, bro. This was more like a cup of water on ice. You go to a diner.
That's a better analogy.
You go to a diner. When you walk in, you have the Mexican giving you a glass of water with ice. And again, not to come off racial and shit, but it's true. You go to any diner, any restaurant, it's a Mexican.
I know what you're talking about.
Right, and every 10 minutes they come, give you a fucking refill. You're drinking soda or orange juice or whatever the fuck it may be. It's like, bruh, I don't need the water, thank you. But whatever. Anyway, we kicked off the show with the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I thought honestly was a very smart way to kick off the show. You want to kick these shows off with a fucking banger. And what I noticed too about the show, granted it was a long show, but it made you appreciate the fact that, hey, nowadays people have to sit through 5 hours, 7 hours of WrestleMania. This show is just 3 hours of some change. God, I wish we can go back to these days, but that's beside the point, though. We kicked these off with the Money in the Bank ladder match, which I thought, again, was a very, very good match. In this match, you had like an all-star when you think about it, right? You had Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys. You had Randy Orton. You had King Booker with Queen Sharmell. You had Finlay. You had Edge, Mr. Kennedy, and CM Punk. Now, God damn it, if this does not stream All-Star, I don't know what the fuck does, bro. Seriously.
Yeah, at the time it wasn't All-Star. It was sort of like, man, we got some big people and we got some new people. But looking back on it, it's like, man, this is star-studded,
Exactly.
And even on the commentary, when King Booker came out, JBL said that one day it's gonna be a spot in the Hall of Fame waiting for him. And little did we know, it was 2 spots waiting on him.
2 spots, yep, 2 spots waiting for him. I believe he went in 2013, and Booker T's going in this year as well, part of Harlem Heat.
Right.
And we'll talk more. We'll talk more about that coming up on the Teamheel podcast. So we'll give more thoughts on that. There's a lot of controversy, but we'll save it for that. Like I said, I enjoyed the match. I really did. I enjoyed, honestly, out of all the entrances, I enjoyed Kennedy's entrance. I felt like they put a lot of focus on his. And think about this, right? Everyone came out there. They rushed him into the ring, right? As they're walking halfway, they played the other person's theme song. Kennedy had, like, the actual good treatment, right? He comes out. He brings out the microphone, screams out his name and shit. It's vintage Kennedy. And it's like, yo, how the fuck they let him go? How the fuck did this guy not become a bigger star in WWE?
Man, I don't know, but from what I'm hearing is he kind of sort of did it to himself.
That too. But still, you think about that, right? At the time, Ken Kennedy, or Mr. Kennedy, however the fuck you want to call him, Mr. Anderson, or Ken Anderson, however the fuck you want to call him, this guy. This guy beat, at the time, right, they were hyping, he beat already like 7 or 6 former world champions. He stood, toe-to-toe with all of them and shit. And it's like, yo, how the fuck was this guy never a world champion, right? And again, everyone here had a good showing, right? CM Punk was the only ECW representative here in this match. Everyone got their shit in, right? Obviously, that crazy spot with Jeff Hardy doing a leg drop off a ladder onto Edge. This was like the first time they implemented the ladder being like a bridge from the ring apron, from the apron all the way to the barricade, right? If you notice, they've done that ever since then. They've done that shit, right?
Right.
And I thought, again, once it's great, fine. I remember the year after, Shelton just landed on that ladder and the ladder broke. But other than that, this match was very, very enjoyable for me. Walter, what about you, bro? What was your overall take on this match? I'll get to Mike in a bit.
That was a pretty. I mean, I love when the Money in the Bank ladder matches start the show. I think that's a great way to start Mania. Obviously, they got their own pay-per-view now, but this was a pretty star-studded Money in the Bank match. A lot of good names there. Obviously, it took some of them a couple of years for them to get established. Like CM Punk was still still, I don't want to say rookie, but he was still, fairly new. So him and Mr. Kennedy was on the come up, but you still had Orton, Edge, the Hardys. So you had names there. Overall the match was good. Jeff Hardy, rescuing him, killing himself, not literally, obviously. Again in the ladder matches, that's always fun. It was just a overall fun match, and the right guy I think did win. Like you said, they spotlighted his entrance and all that, so that was cool. But unfortunately, they never followed up after that. So exactly. That's the only sad part.
Mike, for you, because again, bro, you were there. What was your reaction? Because again, I feel like for us, 'cause we watched it at home at the time, right? It was, but for you live, what was it like, bro? Watching this match live, like 11-year-old Big Mike, well, little Mike, if you will, but you get the gist.
No, I was big back then too. So,
but you know what I mean, little Big Mike.
That's when I got that. That's when I got my nickname. So, yeah, man. When I saw that match live, I was like, because I was a big CM Punk fan back then. I always liked his entrance music. And I wanted him to win instead of Mr. Kennedy. But just seeing all the spots, like all the bookend off of the ladder, the RKO off the ladder, the Swanton, and the big bump that Jeff Hardy took onto Edge. And I still remember the next day on Raw when Edge came out in full cast almost. But just all of the big spots were, jaw dropping at the time.
Absolutely. And one spot I remember in this match as well, King Booker was on the ladder, right? And he literally had his hands on the briefcase. He had his hands on it. He could have easily just grabbed it and won the match. And Matt Hardy grabs Queen Charlotte because Queen Charlotte got involved, right? And he threatens to hit her with a twist of fate. And Booker has to make a choice. Do you grab the case and let your wife get fucking twisted faded? Or do you save your wife? And JBL on commentary, Booker, just grab the briefcase, man. Look at me. I've been through how many marriages already, man. They're not worth it. And Booker T was just crying and shit and made the save for his wife. I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, yeah. if you will. But one spot that I thought was like, oh my god, funny as shit. Like looking at it now after all these years, right? Like back then, I thought, oh my god, that was a crazy spot, right? But looking at it now, as I'm a little older, it's like, okay, haha, or if you will, right? Ken Anderson does, I want to say like a fireman's carry, right, or a Death Valley driver, if you will. What was his finisher? I know the mic drop, but what was his other one? He had the guy in a fireman's carry.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. They said it like 3 times in the match, but I forget the name of it.
Yeah, he hits this move on Hornswoggle from the top of the big ladder. Because remember, Edge brought out the big ladder during the match before he got taken out, right? So this big ladder's in the ring the whole fucking time, right? And Ken Anderson hits this move onto Little Hornswoggle. One thing I noticed about this match too, there's a lot of blood. People were bleeding left and right. In this match.
Yeah.
Which I thought,
yeah, blood was still acceptable back then.
Exactly. That's the thing too. And I think what I miss about this too, and to me, I get it. You know, Money in the Bank is not considered part of the Big Five, but a part of me wishes that it was just it goes back to being a featured match on WrestleMania. That's what I wish. I don't know about you guys that are listening right now. What is your input on that? Would you like to see Money in the Bank return as a featured match on WrestleMania, or are you just content with there just being now 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches for the men and the women and stuff like that? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. If not, let us know on Twitter at Teamheel Podcast. But
yeah, I think it's conflicted. Like, because people like the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. That's the thing, and so it's tough.
Yeah, people like it because they know a takeover is gonna be there too.
That too.
So there was that. We then go to again. Kennedy won, and there was that. I thought again the right person won. At the time, he was over as shit. Backstage, he cuts his promo, talk about how everyone that has a title should have eyes in their back of their heads. And now he's Mr. Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank, shit like that, which was good. We then get the second match on the main card. And this match, I'm sorry, put me to sleep. We had the Great Khali versus Kane. Need I say more? Need I fucking say more about this match? The moment this match started, I started falling asleep. Like, bruh, fuck this. It's funny because I'm sitting here on my desk, and I'm watching this whole thing go down, right? And the next thing you know, my eyes are just closing, they're shutting down, put my head down a little bit, woke up, the match was kind of over. Oh, thank God.
Dude, this match was awful. It was even awful when I saw it in person. And, you know, that factuation with Kane and that hook in the chain, because I believe this was fresh off of him doing See No Evil. And I think later, like a month later, they'd be doing that May 19th bullshit. You know, every time somebody said May 19th, he'd go crazy. And it was just stupid. I thought it was stupid then, too. I was like, that was horrible.
Fair enough. Walter, what about you, bro? Your take on this match?
It was a hard watch. You know, these 2 big men, I thought they were going to tear it up. At least Kane did that nice body slam, you know, an ode to Hogan and Andre. That's the only thing I think I remember. And, yeah, that's what makes the match, like, at least not a total fail. I mean, people will say it completely sucked. And it did, minus that spot.
Oh, Walter, you know damn well that's the reason why they did the match, bro. Just so fucking Kane can buy.
And that is the reason why they did the match. But at least they did it. And it was kind of cool. I guess a little nostalgia, but at the same time, no one gave a fuck. So
yeah, bro. And the Great Khali pinned Kane. Holy shit, yeah.
Wow, upset win.
This match went about literally 5 minutes and 30 seconds. This was the second shortest match on the card.
Really? It felt so much longer.
It did. That's the thing about it. It's like, bro, why the fuck did this shit feel so fucking long right now? It's beyond me. I only wonder what was the shortest match on this card. We'll get into that later on in this review.
Oh, man.
We then go on to the fourth match, the third match on the main card. We had for the United States Championship. We had Montel Vontavious Porter. Am I even saying it right? Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP. You know what's funny, right? In later years, in his time in WWE, they ditched the Montel Vontavious Porter. He was just MVP. You guys remember that, right?
Said his full name.
Like in 2010 and shit, when he was a babyface, they never said his full name. Just MVP.
I didn't pay attention to his babyface run. I think that's a good thing.
If you with the Miz, come on, bro. When Miz cut that heel promo backstage and shit. But that's beside. Listen, that's around the point, right? That is around the point. Speaking of that, don't you guys know this Sunday, Around the Point makes its return to the YouTube channel as our new Sunday show, which again you guys do not want to miss. Talk about a lot of stuff, also stuff that's outside of the wrestling world. So again, guys, make sure you guys tune in this Sunday for the return of Around the Point as it hits live here on the YouTube channel. Back to WrestleMania 23 though, with Montel Vontavious Porter challenging for the U.S. title versus He Who Shall Not Be
Ghost.
Named. Yeah, He Who Shall Not Be Named.
No, Chris Benoit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We did a Rumble recap on this, so fuck it, yeah. Chris Benoit for the United States title. And here's the thing with this match. I thought this match overall was a very good match for the time they were given, right? MVP went in there. He was in red, white, and blue, had the cheerleaders, all that shit. And again, had a very good showing for himself. Offensively, he got a lot of good offense in this match. My only issue is, again, it's not that Benoit won, because again, I'm fine with Benoit winning the match. But the fucker won by hitting a diving headbutt.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
I forgot that happened, and I was
like,
there.
Like, bruh, really?
I thought I made him tap for some weird reason.
And I ain't gonna lie, I thought that MVP won the match.
At first, I did.
No,
I thought as well.
I thought he won. Like, yo, okay.
But then I remember that. I think this is where Benoit actually won because he lost the Mania before in some weird ass way to JBL, and so I was like, "There's no way they're gonna make him lose 2 years in a row."
This obviously as well was the final WrestleMania for Chris Benoit.
We don't need all that.
Know that, but just so you guys know,
Yes, we do because I saw his last WrestleMania,
and he goes out with a W. Yeah,
there'll be some dicks out there. There'll be some dorks in the comments saying, "This was Benoit's final WrestleMania, bruh."
Well, at least he got a win, right?
I guess so. Yeah, he did.
Like it mattered.
Yeah, imagine that, bro, if he didn't win on his final WrestleMania.
Didn't MVP win the title the next month or something?
I think he did.
Eventually got the title.
I think he did. I could be wrong on that, but I know MVP had one of the longest US title runs.
Why didn't he just win it at Mania? That made no sense.
I know. Then we get to a match that really... Mike, what about you, bro? What was your thoughts on that match overall? I know you were there, too. And your thoughts on MVP and Chris Benoit overall. Being there live and all that shit.
I liked the match because at the time, and kind of still am, I'm a big Chris Benoit fan. And so I was happy to hear his music and him walking in and out with the title. The match was fairly decent from what I remember. I did forget that he won with a headbutt. I thought he tapped him out. And that shows you how long ago that was, because I thought he tapped him out with the crossface, and he won with the flying headbutt. So it is what it is, but it was good. It was a good experience to watch him wrestle. And my only time watching him wrestle. I don't think he was at Raw the first time I went. But no. Yeah.
Exactly. So then after this, we get to one of the big feature matches on the card. For the World Heavyweight title, you had Batista defending his championship against The Undertaker. The Undertaker was the winner of the 2007 Royal Rumble. And by winning, he faced Batista. He chose Batista, right? And I mean, only you think about it too. You could have said this should have been evented, because I ain't gonna lie, I thought this closed the show. I like going back, like again before watching the show after all these years. I thought this closed the show. And again, it was that long, right? That I could have sworn close the show, but it didn't. And it was a great match. They gave him they gave these guys almost 15 minutes or so. And it's funny because the match before the match even happened, you had Teddy Long introducing both Batista and The Undertaker. Which I'm like, where's Tony Chimmel in this whole thing?
Well, that's the winner.
Yeah, which was weird. I thought that was weird when I was there live. I was like,
well, do you think Teddy Long's gonna stay for that whole match? I think he was just there just to have, just to get a Mania appearance. To be honest,
maybe because he was popular at the time.
Yeah, he was. It was very popular at the time. Very, very popular. And again, I thought this match was a very good match. Batista and The Undertaker. These two guys went out there and just beat the fuck out of each other. God damn it, yo.
Yeah, as soon as the bell rung.
There was that spot where they're on the outside. And I want to say, Batista, I guess he countered Undertaker's move and they went to the table, whatever. Was that what happened?
Yeah.
Again, it's been that long, and again, I just finished watching the show, but still, it's been that long. You know what I mean? There was a table spot on the outside. They're kicking out of the choke slam and the spine buster. Batista did the spine buster, and he does this thing where he grabs the rope and he stomped on his leg and shit. But Taker just got up, right? Taker to the last ride. Batista again hit the Batista bomb. Taker kicked out. Just crazy back and forth, and they made you really think that, oh my god, Batista was gonna end the streak. They had you thinking that.
Yeah, that's good because you need some serious threats for the Undertaker, and this was the match. I just wish it was the main event, or at least come close to the main event. It was kind of weird. It was in the mid card. And should have closed the show indeed. But the match was good. No slow-paced BS. That's great. And, Taker was going to win, of course. But I think both of them put a good showing.
Exactly. But there was that, and it was all said and done. Taker finally beat Batista. And fun fact, this was the first time in 10 years since Undertaker wrestled for the championship at a WrestleMania. The last time was WrestleMania 13.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, against
Sid.
Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid, that's right. Won the big gold. And you gotta keep this also in mind as well. When you think about it too, WWE never gave a flying fuck about the big gold. They never did. It should have felt like a big deal.
At that time, they tried with Batista and Taker, and then they kind of
they only cared about it when Triple H held it.
Yeah, when Triple H held it at first, that's when they cared about it the most. But hey, I see effort sometimes. You're right, they didn't care. You know why? Because of the placement of the fucking match. That's how I knew they didn't care. Why'd you put it so early? I mean, I understand. They went to filler matches, to feature matches, to filler matches. That's what I noticed in this card. But still, you don't put this match, what was it, the first hour?
Yeah, it was the
first hour of the show.
Yeah, first hour.
Or the beginning of the second hour.
Yeah, beginning of the second hour.
Not what you're supposed to do. And then they devalued the title even more years later. They opened a WrestleMania card.
Not once, but twice, bro. Twice.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. 2 years in a row. Yeah, it was 2 years in a row.
This was the beginning of the
decline of the World Heavyweight title.
But then again, Cena won that title in 25 as well. So it main evented 24.
Yeah, it's true. So it's like, it was in between. It was more in between, bro.
It was in between. And then after 25, after Cena won it, that's it. It was over.
Yeah. Basically. But I enjoyed the match, and again, it had made you believe that Batista was going to be the one to end the streak, and he never really did. And it's one of those top matches I remember for WrestleMania. I'll put it up there. Because, again, they had other killer matches after this, too. So, what they did here, I enjoyed it for what it was. Even though it could have main evented, it's Undertaker, too. Like, come on, it's Undertaker.
Yeah, at least co-main
event. No, yeah, at least beat the second to last match, and they should have main evented. I know why I did it, because they were on the Cena
we need to push this guy to the next moon type of wagon.
Yeah.
So I could understand that, but come on.
Well, this was Marine Cena too, so we'll get into that as well.
I hated Marine Cena.
After this, we had the 8-person tag match. This was the killer. This was the bathroom break match, if you will. This was like all right, guys, we're going intermission. Do what the fuck you want, if you will. We had the ECW Originals, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, the Sandman, and Tommy Dreamer versus the new breed of Elijah Burke, Kevin Thorne, Marcus Corvon, I'm sorry, Monty Brown, the Alpha Male, yeah.
Alpha Male.
And Matt Striker.
The bathroom break. Don't be disrespectful to the only ECW match of the night.
I was there. I don't think nobody got up after when this match started because everybody wanted to see the ECW Originals. But the bathroom break was for sure that co-main event.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. What I remember about this match is the entrances of again the ECW Original. They came to the crowd. Sandman smashed a beer can in his forehead like he always did. It just went by though. It didn't really go long. It went 7 minutes and 27 seconds. The new breed got some offense in. In some chagrin, you know what, you can say that, hey, they had their WrestleMania moment, especially Marcus Corvon, or I'm sorry, the alpha male Monty Brown from TNA, right? The Pouncer! Period.
Well, yeah, they didn't need to go over.
Weird to me.
Well, yeah, the new breed was just some weird stable. It was just, I never.
It was an experiment. It was Vince's experiment to see, okay, let me grab a couple of young guys, right? That I can probably make something out of years to come. And you know what? Let me put them in ECW, let them develop, and see what happens years from now. And unfortunately, Elijah Burke was gone, I think a year after or so. He was labeled as I want to say dangerous to work with. Kevin Thorne didn't really even bother, right? I think he was cut after this shit. Marcus Corvon wasn't even heard from again, and Matt Striker became an announcer.
And then he sucked at that in the beginning. He's good now, but he sucked at it in the beginning.
Yeah, he was always annoying on commentary. That's what Monday.
I'm Marcus, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad they got rid of him, but I'm not glad. But I just found he was annoying. Yeah. But that I don't know. I mean, at least the Originals got a moment, right? ECW, yeah baby.
Yeah, ECW.
Yeah.
It was fun for me because that was my first time ever experiencing watching Sabu and Sandman in a WWE ring. I never seen them in the WWE or watching them in ECW.
Well, hopefully, Mike. Hopefully, they were sober for your sake, bro. Hopefully, they were sober.
Hopefully, Sandman was in good shape. I don't know about Sabu. Sabu might have been high.
You know what's funny though, bro? Like,
always high.
You know what's funny though? If you go to conventions nowadays, right? You see the ECW legends and stuff like that, right? And you look at of all the ECW Originals, the one guy that's like in good health and shit like that is Sandman. Believe it or not. Who the fuck would have thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandman just played. You're right because of the gimmick he plays, but maybe he actually does take care of his body and all that.
Yeah. But the ECW Originals got the win. Rob Van Dam hit the 5-star frog splash. I want to say on Matt Striker.
Yep.
Yeah, they never showed the replay after that.
And they all celebrated. I mean, in some way, it was cool that someone like Dreamer, Sandman, and Sabu, for all the years of being in the bingo hall and shit like that, finally got their moment on the big stage at WrestleMania. So that was cool to see. Even Tommy Dreamer as well.
They all got that payday too.
That bang your pin, and they all blew.
Even the new breed got the payday.
Fuck yeah, they did, bro. Fuck yeah, they did. Before we get on to the rest of the card, let's talk about the Hall of Fame class of 2007. Because goddamn, bro, the class for that year was a stacked class. It really, really was when you think about it, right? Run through the names here. It was Jim Ross, the Sheik, Mr. Fuji, Nick Bockwinkel, longtime AWA World Champion, Jerry Lawler, Mr. Perfect, and the headliner was the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. God
Yeah,
damn,
it
bro.
was a really good class.
If that does not scream out all-star class, then, bro, I don't know what the fuck does, bro. I have no idea what does.
Yeah, that was pretty darn good class. Shit.
Indeed. Inducting Jim Ross was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Inducting the Sheik was Rob Van Dam and Sabu. Inducting Mr. Fuji with Don Morocco, his longtime wrestler that was mad by Mr. Fuji, former Intercontinental Champion in the mid '80s, if you will. Nick Bockwinkel was inducted by Bobby Heenan. Jerry Lawler was inducted by William Shatner. Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, was inducted by Wade Boggs. I believe he was a baseball player, right?
Yeah, he played for the Red Sox, Yankees, and Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay, so there you go with that.
Hall of Famer, too. Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
Okay, that's awesome. And obviously, Dusty Rhodes was inducted by Cody and Dustin Rhodes. So
yeah, this was I believe, one of the best speeches in Hall of Fame history from Dustin and Cody.
It was. It really was. Also, it was like the beginning of, hey, this is Cody.
Right.
Who the hell is Cody?
I remember watching this and was like, man, this dude can talk. And then about maybe, I believe he was in WWE for like a year at this point, right? He started in 2006.
Well, at the time he was in developmental.
So he didn't come in until probably later that year. He was losing a lot.
And I think now that all these years, now here he is trying to compete with Vince.
Right.
My oh my, how time really flies by, bro. So there was that. Anyway, again, it was a good class. I enjoyed it. They brought out Howard Finkel to introduce the legends and stuff. So that was pretty cool too. We then get, let's get back to the card here. The Battle of the Billionaires, one of the big headline matches on the show. It was representing Vince McMahon, you had Umaga. And representing our president, Donald Trump, Bobby Lashley. Of all people, Bobby Lashley, who at the time was the ECW champion. And the referee was Stone Cold Steve Austin, the special guest referee. It was a hair versus hair match where whichever billionaire, whoever lost, then the billionaire the representative had to get their head shaved bald. And apparently they played like videos that are hyping this match. They asked celebrities who they want to see bald. And everybody wanted to see Donald Trump being shaved bald at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised, but damn, the fact that they actually had found celebrities to say that and put it on air.
Yeah, except for Justice Sally, ex-Piston.
Yeah, because some people didn't even like Donald Trump during here either. Like, no one gave. I mean, he's not as hated as he is now, but it's like,
yeah,
whatever.
go on, Walt.
I'm just saying, like, whatever.
One thing that I found funny as shit before this even happened. So there was a backstage segment. It was Vince and Stephanie, and I guess at the time Stephanie had her newborn daughter. And it's Vince talking to his granddaughter, right?
Oh my!
About how how Donald Trump gonna get shaved bald, how he's gonna shave Donald Trump's head bald and shit like that, right? And he's just screaming at it. Like he would talk to like his employees and shit, right? And it's funny, kid. They place a camera. This is how crazy this shit is. They place a camera in the stroller, bro. So you get the angle of Vince just talking to making you believe that, oh my god, he's talking to his granddaughter. This is how this guy talks to his granddaughter.
Like we were the baby.
Exactly. Right? Until eventually the baby poops in her diaper and say, oh, she just took a Trump.
Yeah.
You also had Donald Trump backstage. He was hungry. He wanted a sandwich. The boogeyman got involved there too. So that was pretty fun, I guess. But I thought the Vince one was more funnier. The match itself was a pretty, solid match. For what it was, there was a lot of like shenanigans that happened outside the ring. You had Shane McMahon get involved. You had the referee, who's Stone Cold, obviously, getting involved too when they wouldn't listen to Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's moments where Stone Cold grabbed Umaga by the box braids, poked him in the eyes just so he can again listen to Stone Cold and shit. To where eventually Stone Cold got hit with the Samoan Spike, which led to Shane to get involved and just punch Bobby Lashley, only to reveal that he's wearing a referee shirt underneath.
Shane McMahon, what a sneaky guy. I mean, this match was just all over the place, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think it was no one thought, Lashley Umaga would have a great match. It was all just to spotlight the billionaires, which makes perfect sense. You needed a big celebrity type match, and obviously they don't want Trump wrestling. I don't even think he wanted to do that. No one wants to imagine that, okay?
Nah.
So
obviously, though, they had that one spot where goddamn Donald Trump had to clothesline Vince McMahon.
Those punches, man, were epic.
Oh, and it's funny because people now use that as a video meme of, this is our president, goddammit, acting like fucking stupid and shit. Which is funny in a way, right?
I mean, he's an entertainer.
Yeah, he was. And you know what? Let's be real about it. Did it ever occur to you at that time that, oh my god, this guy would end up becoming the most important man on the planet?
No, because he was doing The Apprentice and, doing WWE stuff. He's just trying to, raise his value. They want more eyeballs. He wants more eyeballs on him. And that's what he is, a TV star. But now he's something even more important.
Shane did hit a coast to coast on Lashley as well, but eventually, when it was all said and done, Austin got back in the ring. He stuns Umaga, which then Umaga bounced off the rope to get speared by Lashley for the 1-2-3. So Bobby Lashley wins. Donald Trump is still with this set of hair, and Vince had to get his head shaved. He tried to sneak out, but Lashley catches him. Austin stuns him, and then they tie him into the chair, and they shave him bald. They shave him fucking bald like a cue ball. Which I laughed looking at now after all these years and shit. I thought it was funny as hell. Mike, for you being there live, bro, what was the vibe like seeing Vince McMahon get his head shaved bald, bro?
It was funny, and it was weird because I was like, they're not gonna actually shave his head. He's gonna find some way out of this, right? No, they shaved his head bald, legit, shaving cream and all. I was like, man, this man is really crazy, And then the stunner afterwards to Donald Trump put the icing on the cake for it. So everybody popped for that. Everybody popped for Vince getting his head shaved. And that weird music, I forgot about that music. I forgot that music when they played the music when they were shaving his head.
Oh, yeah, something about being bald, whatever, right?
Yeah, I forgot. And that was playing, that wasn't dubbed in. I remember that playing throughout the PA system in Ford Field. And I was like, why are they playing this music? And yeah, that was the only weird thing. I forgot that happened, but it was funny. It was funny, legit. It was really funny.
Fair enough. But yeah, after that, Vince got shaved bald, and there was that. That's how they closed the show with Austin stunning Donald Trump, like you said, and it's just basically about Stone Cold Steve Austin at the end.
Yeah, of course, it had to be about Steve Austin because you can't have just the bald, the haircut, and not have Austin drink 20 beers.
Yeah, and then after this, we had the co-main event.
I don't think they consider that the co-main event.
But bro, it was.
It's the filler. It is the filler before the main event.
This was the bathroom break. God damn, you had 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go to the bathroom, go to the concessions.
You're not including the entrances though.
This match shit the bed. This match was the shit. I'm sorry, Melina defending the women's championship versus Ashley Massaro.
I
Yeah.
remember they were trying to push this girl.
Yeah, they
For a
were at the
while.
time. She was doing Playboy stuff like that, and
Yeah.
she just the match just sucked, bro. She botched every single move you can
She just
think of.
sucked as a wrestler. That's all.
Yeah, she did, bro. And again, it totally slipped my mind. Like, wait a minute, they're doing this whole menu without a women's match. What the fuck? And then, oh my god, there it is. And it's like, damn, bro. And remember, this was the divas. This was the era of the divas division, right? They're divas, right? 3 minutes and 40 seconds out of WrestleMania. And it's funny because Melina pins her, like with the bridge, right? And it's like the match was supposed to continue, and I guess Ashley never kicked out. But then Ashley then proceeds to attack her after the match. She botched throwing Melina out of the ring, and then the Lumberjills, who were outside the ring, decided to get involved and start punching each other, fighting each other and shit. They're all wearing nightgowns and dresses and shit. And then there you had the likes of Mickie James, Candice Michelle, soon-to-be Hall of Famer Tori Wilson. I want to say you also had Crystal, who would eventually become the wife of Bobby Lashley. You also had Brooke Adams as well, stuff like that. This was just terrible. Honestly, if you're watching WrestleMania 23, skip this match. Just skip it. Skip it, skip it, skip it. The fact that I had to talk about it, it hurts me. It really, really does.
We talked about it as much as as long as the match lasted.
God damn it, you're right. You're right. Now let's get to the main event for the WWE Championship. Shawn Michaels and John Cena. Fun little fact here. Going into the match, both Cena and Shawn Michaels were the WWE World Tag Team Champions, right? And apparently, this was supposed to be Triple H and Cena in the rematch, but obviously Triple H fucked up his quad. So Michael stepped in, right? And they had an amazing match. Michaels came out there to the DX theme song, and John Cena came out driving a Ford Mustang.
Right.
Mike, let me ask you a question, bro. Did that happen live, or was that like a pre-tape recorded the driving outside of the stadium?
It looked like it. I would find it hard for it to be pre-taped because it was night when the main event happened. So I think that was pretty. I think that's had to been live, because I'm pretty sure they had, the police involved, and they can close off some streets so they can get that rolling. And if it wasn't live, then okay, maybe they did it a day ago, and then somebody did it. But I don't know if they did it a day ago. I think it was live, and I think Cena one-shot Johnny that thing and just drove into the glass.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things where, again, these two guys were beating the fuck out of each other. There's blood. Cena, Michael's working on Cena's leg the whole time as well. There was blood, obviously. Again, they're bleeding like fucking faucets and shit here. The one spot that I remember about this match is Michael's power drove Cena onto the ring steps, and which was a scary spot as well. And just countering each other's moves, like Cena countered the Sweet Chin Music where the referee got hit. Michaels countered the FU. At the time, they were calling it the FU, not the Attitude Adjustment.
Oh, it was such a breath of fresh air hearing the FU again.
Yeah, it really, really was.
Dude, I remember a quick story on the side note. I remember I stopped watching wrestling, past this point. I believe it was like 2008, 2009. And then I tuned back in and I saw Cena and I was like, oh, he's getting ready to hit the FU. And then Michael Cole said AA. And I was like, what the hell is an AA? And that's when I turned on wrestling again to like 2012. So that killed it for me. Continue.
All right, Walter, what about you, bro? What about you, man?
Yeah, this match was, it wasn't bad. I liked it. Main event, one of the best main events of all time for Mania standards, no. But, it did what, Michaels always performs good at Mania. This is where you see, well, I think it was the Mania before. Cena was already getting booed.
Yeah.
Like already.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
This one he's getting booed as well. So
Yeah, he was. He was getting booed here as well.
but overall, like the match flew. It was fluid, so it wasn't like a mess. Yeah, they were bloody, but overall, I think you kind of had to make Cena win because Michaels. I bet he didn't even want to win this match, to be honest.
Yeah, he was a fill-in,
Yeah.
and I think this was one of his better matches at Mania, because if you look at next year's Mania, that was awful. Really
Oh
didn't
yeah, triple
threat.
threat, and it was in the mid card too.
Yeah, didn't like
So
that WWE Championship in the mid card. Wow. And then years after that, it was just his matches wasn't good up until him and The Rock the first time.
And even
Yeah.
people hate that match.
Yeah, the second match with The Rock was awful.
No, that second match was that was kind of similar to this in terms of that counter fest. Although that one was worst.
Yeah,
The 29 one was bad.
Yeah, 29, they were countering finishers. They were actually
they were countering finishes
wrestling
multiple
moves.
times. They weren't countering wrestling moves. Yeah.
All right.
And that was that. Cena obviously won. He hit the STFU on the Michaels and he tapped out. And so Cena retained his championship. People were booing, obviously. Of course, they were booing, of course.
Yeah, because they knew what was coming.
Exactly. Now, Mike, were you part of the Chain Gang or the C Nation when this was taking place, or?
No, I was making my way out. I was part of the Chain Gang from 04 to about mid 06.
Okay.
Yeah, but C Nation, fuck that. No, don't like it. It's not for me.
Fair enough. So
Yeah, I think I was phasing out of that too.
I ain't gonna lie, to me, Cena will always be Cena. Say what you want about him, but when it's big time matches, he always delivers, right? And he delivered here. So that was WrestleMania 23. The aftermath, though, of WrestleMania 23, John Cena and Shawn Michaels continued their feud, with Michaels betraying Cena the night after WrestleMania on Raw. During the second of the two battle royals, Michaels eliminated himself and Cena, resulting in the Hardys winning the tag team championships. On the Raw before Backlash, Cena and Michaels wrestled almost an hour-long non-title match, which Michaels won. This happened also in the UK. Just keep that in mind too. I remember that too. It was like the Raw that headline. It was an hour match, and they wrestled in the UK.
Oh well, yeah. Well, because I forgot who was injured, Orton or Edge. One of those guys were injured, and they couldn't do their match.
Yeah. Batista also continued his feud with Undertaker, facing off against him in a last man standing match the following month at Backlash. The match ended in a draw after both men failed to answer the 10 count, therefore resulting in Undertaker retaining the title. The two faced each other in a steel cage match on May 11, 2007 edition of SmackDown, which ended in a draw with both men escaped the cage at the same time. The feud ended when Undertaker dropped the World Heavyweight title due to a legitimate injury. Edge, who won Kennedy's Money in the Bank contract in a match on Raw the previous Monday, cashed in and defeated The Undertaker after the steel cage match to win the title. And this one kind of hurt a little bit for me. Bobby Lashley feud with Vince McMahon continued for a further 3 months after the event. Vince, livid after being embarrassed at WrestleMania, vowed to destroy Lashley and take his ECW title. And at Backlash, Vince and the son of Shane and Umaga, William Regal will call him Umanga, teamed up a 3-on-1 handicap match against the champion. After two Samoan splashes by Umaga from the top rope, Vince pinned Lashley to win the title. That's right, Vince McMahon was the ECW champion. At the time, too, Vince was rocking a do-rag, too. Let that sink in.
Yeah, do-rag Vince was the best.
Yeah, he was. What's up, my nigga?
He was hood.
He was hood as hell.
He said that, though. He said that in Detroit, too.
Oh, man.
The feud continued for a further two pay-per-views, with Lashley pinning Shane in a repeat match from Backlash at Judgment Day, but Vince ruled that he did not get pinned. Lashley did not win the title. At One Night Stand, Lashley finally defeated Vince in a street fight to reclaim the championship. Donald Trump would later be involved in another Raw storyline in 2009 and be inducted into the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame in 2013. The match between Chris Benoit and Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP, expanded into a lengthy feud for the U.S. title, resulting in Benoit retaining via pinfall at Backlash and Porter winning the title in a 2 out of 3 falls match at Judgment Day, winning 2-zip. That's right, 2-zip.
Good.
And then later in the summer, Chris Benoit, I'm not going to go there.
What? They actually mentioned that too?
No, I just added that, but they're not.
I was about to say.
The feud between the ECW originals and the New Breed continued, with the New Breed defeating the originals in an Extreme Rules match on the next edition of ECW. Sabu was released from the company shortly after WrestleMania, and the Sandman was drafted to Raw. A few months later, in the 2007 WWE Draft, Kevin Thorne left the New Breed shortly after WrestleMania, and Marcus Corvon was also released shortly thereafter. By this point, Elijah Burke and Matt Striker had ceased associating with one another, with Striker eventually being relegated to a manager role for Big Daddy V. In addition, Rob Van Dam left the company when his contract expired shortly after One Night Stand. As a result of all this, the feud eventually puttered out and was rarely mentioned again. Mr. Kennedy lost the Money in the Bank contract to Edge on the May 7th episode of Raw after Edge defeated Kennedy in a match with the briefcase on the line on the May 11th, 2007 episode of SmackDown, after The Undertaker retained the World Heavyweight Championship in the Steel Cage match against Batista via draw and was attacked by Mark Henry. Edge successfully cashed in the contract on a beaten down Undertaker and won the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time in his career. So Edge became the first man to successfully cash in twice in WWE. That being the Money in the Bank briefcase, or contract, that is. So that was WrestleMania 23. Overall, I would say to everyone out there, if you ever get a chance, go rewatch it. If you have not, or have you, rewatch for old memories and shit like that. This was obviously better than WrestleMania 11. And I said before early in this review, this was probably my favorite WrestleMania set.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you on that.
It was a pretty nice set. You know, I think the sets get better and better throughout the years because, you know, it was just weird because, you know, they're lazy nowadays with any other pay-per-view set. But with Mania, they always step their game up. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. So this was a very good one. Now, Mike, what is the next one on the list here?
So, we are going to be reviewing next week WrestleMania 17.
Okay, well, for a lot of people, probably one of their favorite probably one of the best WrestleManias of all time. That should be a fun one. I cannot wait for that one, obviously. But this is going to be it for us, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys had a fun time as we all reminisce on WrestleMania 23. Again, guys, if you have any thoughts, if you want to give us your thoughts on WrestleMania 23, feel free to drop a comment in the video of this, in the comment section of this video. Or if not, let us know on Twitter at Teamheel Podcast. You can catch the Teamheel Podcast this Friday at 10:45 p.m. as we'll be going live with more thoughts that happen in the world of wrestling. As a reminder, this Sunday is the return of Around the Point, our brand new Sunday show going forward here on the YouTube channel. So if you're not subbed to this channel yet, mother flowers, what the fuck are you waiting for? You can follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. If you're on the channel right now, hit that subscribe button down below. And Walter, where can they find you at, brother?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Walter.
Hey, I'm Walter. That's right, guys. If you want to follow the Queen Slayer, check him out over there at Hey, I'm Walter. Big Mike, where can they find you at, bro?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Big Mike 199519 and on YouTube at Big Mike's Wrestling Recap Show.
And with that being said, guys, this has been the WrestleMania Retro Review, week number 2. Next week, WrestleMania 17. And this of course has been Team Heel Podcast Extra, guys. Peace out, everybody. Peace.